Book of Eli, man. Oh, 2010 movie. Didn't see it in the theater. My assistant that works with me insisted that I see this movie, like time and time again. So finally I broke down. I went to their house, my wife and I went, and we watched this movie on that was recorded at their house, Book of Eli. Played, the main character, Eli, played by Denzel Washington, who lives in a post-apocalyptic America in this desolate, barren, post-nuclear world of chaos and violence in survival mode. People are killing each other for cans of food and water, and the sun and the ozone layer is gone. People are wearing sunglasses. It's pretty radical. It's pretty devastating. And now in the midst of all of that, this guy Eli has a book. And he's on this seemingly providential, divine journey to get this book out west for what reason we don't know. And he reads that book daily, and he protects the book, and he tries to keep the book as much a secret as possible because other people are looking for the book. Now, seemingly, there's only one of these books. A character named Carnegie, played by Gary Oldman, one of the best actors, one of my favorite actors, he's looking for the book too because he realizes if you have the book, you have power, and you have a key to unlocking the preservation and survival of the human race. That is to say, without this book, the human race is not going to make it. It will, in the midst of a nuclear explosion, it will implode upon itself. The human race will kill itself off without this book. So evil people are looking for the book, and Eli's got the book, and he's trying to keep it a secret until finally Carnegie and Eli, their paths cross. And Carnegie shoots Eli a couple of times, once or twice, I can't remember, and he's almost dead. And Carnegie takes the book. He takes it back to his little town that he controls, and the book is locked, and he's got to get someone to help him unlock it, only to realize after unlocking it that the book is written in Braille, and the movie viewer realizes in that moment that Eli has been blind the whole entire movie. But he was on a mission to get that book out west. So Eli's still alive without the book and continues with the aid of a friend to make it out west to what we know to be Alcatraz, the island of Alcatraz in San Francisco. And Eli makes his way into this compound. And in this compound, they duplicate and print books to reintroduce the human race that had been destroyed. And Eli tells them they're going to need a lot of paper, and he sits down, having healed from some of his bullet wounds. And this will freak you out. He begins to recite the entire Bible from memory. And he lays down and he says, Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light, and it was good. He made his way from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22. And mankind had the book preserved, and it could be duplicated. What's the life point? If you have the book, do you have power? No. If you have the book in your heart, now you have power. You have the power to survive, not only survive, but overcome. You and I live in a world where we have to learn to think for ourselves, and a lot of people are saying a lot of things about that book we call the Bible, and they're simply not true. And I want to encourage you, as I do in other videos here on LifePoints, to look at that book and learn how to read it. Go to this section in Bible on Threes and read that book for yourself. Because on Day of Judgment, you're going to be all alone. You're not going to have a concert of people telling you what that book has to say. You're going to have to decide on your own as an individual. All right, listen to what I have to say. It's very important because this book will change your life. Hebrews 4:12, the Word of God is living and active. What does that mean? You go to it one day and come back a year later and read the same thing. It's alive. It's different to you, and it has a different purpose and accomplishes something different because it's not stale. It's not moldy. It's alive. It's living and active and sharper than a double-edged sword. The words of Christ meet you where you are at every day of your life, every season of your life, and every circumstance of your life, and they come to you fresh, never stale. The Word of God is living and active. It's active. It does something when you read it. When you ingest it, when you ingest the bread of life, you become more like what you eat, the bread of life, Christ himself. So it's living and active and sharper than a double-edged sword, and it penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joint and marrow. That is to say, it goes deep, okay? I want you to be able to discern for yourself what that book has to say, not at a cognitive level alone, not at an emotional level alone, but a deep spiritual level. Colossians 3:16, let the word of Christ dwell, live, reside, feel at home in you, dwell in you richly as you teach and admonish one another in all wisdom. In other words, you have that book in you, you have something to give someone else, and you can discern what's wise and what's foolish. Psalm 119, 105, the word of God is a lamp unto our feet and light unto our path. You ever walk through the backyard in the middle of the night without a flashlight? The word is a flashlight. It lights up and shows you a direction to go in. And then when you look at the book of Eli, you can't negate this verse. This says it all right here. Psalm 119 and 11. I have hidden your word in my heart. Remember, he was blind. I've hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. It's one thing to read and understand and exchange things in a classroom and come up with your own philosophy and your own definition of spirituality. Have at it. But really, at the end of the day, you got to take that word and hide it in your heart, just like Eli did, so that it can come out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth will speak. Yeah, there's power in that book, for sure. And it is necessary for the preservation of the human race, but it's also necessary for your own personal preservation. I encourage you to read it. And I encourage you to watch the movie, Book of Eli.